The new supreme leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khamenei, has secretly fled from Tehran to Russia. To be more precise, according to Kuwaiti media, the supreme leader of Iran, Mojtaba Khamenei, was evacuated on a secret flight to Moscow for treatment after sustaining serious injuries on the first day of the war. This only confirms that power in Iran has been seized by militants of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps who are merely using Khamenei's name as cover. A high-ranking source close to Khamenei told the Kuwaiti newspaper Al Jarida that the new ruler has never appeared in public. After the start of the US and Israeli military operation, he was wounded, and they were unable to treat his injuries in Iran. As a result, he required hospitalization and constant medical care, which he is now receiving in Moscow. But the sensational part of this news is not that Khamenei was evacuated, but rather another source told the same Kuwaiti newspaper that Mojtaba Khamenei himself did not make any first appeal, not even in writing. And instead, it was Ali Larijani who did this and seized power in the country. Now let's figure all this out together. My name is Pechiy. Let's discuss this topic together. But before we start this episode, I ask you to subscribe to this channel. Like this episode, leave any comment under this video, and be sure to subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pechiy News. The link to it is in the description of this video. So, Iran's supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei was evacuated on a secret flight to Moscow for treatment, according to a high-ranking source close to him in a conversation with the Kuwaiti newspaper Al Jarida. According to him, the new ruler of Iran has never appeared in public. No one has seen or heard him. After the start of the US and Israeli military operation on February 28th, he was wounded on the first day of fighting. The source said that Russian President Vladimir Putin personally offered to send Mojtaba Khamenei for treatment in Moscow during a phone conversation with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian last week. According to the Kremlin, this call took place on March 10th, and notice Putin spoke with Pezeshkian. Remember this moment, we will come back to it. On the evening of the same day, that is, March 10th, the supreme leader of Iran was taken out on a Russian military plane. According to the source, upon arrival in Moscow, Khamenei underwent a successful operation, and now he is undergoing treatment at a special clinic located on the grounds of one of Vladimir Putin's residences. The source added that the reason for evacuating Mojtaba to Moscow was not only the difficulties in providing the necessary care during wartime, but also threats from Israel to eliminate the new Iranian leader. The special services of the Islamic Republic of Iran are concerned about information leaking regarding the whereabouts of Mojtaba Khamenei through doctors who might be involved in his treatment inside Iran. And this is already total paranoia. That is, the regime doesn't even trust the people closest to it. In Tehran, they fear that even doctors, nurses, support staff, and hospitals could essentially give away to Israel the exact location where Mojtaba is being treated. And there's a sense that they're not afraid of this for no reason. Let me remind you that earlier, The Sun, citing a source in Tehran, reported that the injury of Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, turned out to be serious and that he is currently in a coma. The Ayatollah also lost at least one leg. Here is the quote. "He lost one or both legs. He also has damage to his liver or stomach. Apparently, he is in a coma." So, according to The Sun, Khamenei was in the intensive care unit at Sina Hospital. So, they did leak the information about where he was. The building is located in the historic district of Tehran. Part of the hospital was cordoned off and security was increased. And so, on March 12th, let me remind you once again, on March 10th, Putin called Pezeshkian, and on March 10th, Khamenei was taken out of Tehran. On March 12th, Khamenei allegedly addressed the nation with the first message of its kind in history. At the same time, the text of the speech was read by an announcer on the country's state television. The supreme leader of Iran expressed condolences to the families of the deceased citizens and stated that Iran would take revenge on the US and Israel. But then a question immediately arose. Listen, if Mojtaba Khamenei is in normal condition, if everything is fine with him, then why was Vladimir Putin arranging the evacuation of this very Mojtaba Khamenei to Russia, not with him personally, but with the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian? And here simply sensational details emerged. Another source for the Kuwaiti newspaper Al Jarida stated that there are serious doubts in Iran about the authenticity of the first address attributed to Mojtaba Khamenei. According to him, the author of the text could have been the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, Ali Larijani, since the content of this address almost completely coincides with a number of his previous public statements. In other words, essentially, it's a compilation of Ali Larijani's previous statements put together into one address. The address stated that Iran would continue its war with the United States of America and maintain the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, which provides 20% поставок нефти. The Iranian Foreign Ministry previously confirmed the injury of the new leader, but emphasized that his condition is not a cause for concern. 3 New York Times sources in the government of the Republic of Iran reported that he had injuries to his legs. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth stated that Mojtaba was wounded, disfigured, and in hiding, and US President Donald Trump questioned whether he was even alive. Let me also remind you that Trump demanded that Mojtaba Khamenei surrender and called him unacceptable for the US. He stressed he would not accept the successor of the killed Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Trump also stated that he should personally participate in appointing the country's leader, otherwise, quote, that person won't last long. But here I will return to Ali Larijani, who probably seized power in the country. After all, there is every reason to believe that he is now the main figure in Iran. The US wants to stage a terrorist attack of their own in order to use it against Iran, using the events of September 11, 2001 as a basis. That's exactly what the Secretary of the Supreme National Security Council of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ali Larijani, said today, and now I'll quote him. I have heard that the remaining members of Epstein's network have devised a plot to stage an incident similar to 9/11 and blame Iran for it. Iran is fundamentally opposed to such terrorist schemes and does not wage war against the American people. And let me remind you, on September 11, 2001, 19 militants from the terrorist organization Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 commercial passenger planes and directed 2 of them at the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in Manhattan. Both, as you know, caught fire and collapsed. The 3rd airliner crashed into the Pentagon building in Washington, and the 4th fell in a field near the city of Shanksville, Pennsylvania. A total of 2,977 people died, not counting the terrorists. The terrorist attack became the largest in history in terms of casualties, and after that the US began the war on terror, during which they invaded Afghanistan, where the leader of Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden, was hiding, and Iraq, where the regime of Saddam Hussein was overthrown. And here I just want to remind you that the Iranians largely adopted this terrorist tactic from Russia. It is the Russians who often use false flag tactics to claim that someone is preparing a terrorist attack or an assault. As a rule, and Ukrainians know this very well, if officials or public figures in Russia claim that Ukraine is allegedly preparing a provocation, it automatically means that this is exactly what Russia is preparing right now. But they try to get ahead of it, to shift the responsibility away from themselves and put it on someone else. That's why Larijani's words are worth thinking about. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments under this episode, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. Also, if you found this episode interesting and useful, you can support the work of this YouTube channel with your donation or your subscription. All the links and details on how to do this are in the description of this video, or you can use the QR code. That's the most convenient option. I would be grateful for any support from you. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.